This is interesting. Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Bobby, aka Paginator, and I am here today in this crazy wig because it is Comic-Con weekend. I should say FanX weekend because Salt Lake Comic-Con is now known as FanX. And I spent many hours there yesterday, and gosh, have I got stuff. And I've got stuff to say. I'm also going to be telling you a little bit about a book haul as well because when I'm in a town that has a bookstore, I must go book shopping. All right, first, FanX. So you've heard me say before that I suffer from anxiety and I struggle with large crowded spaces. And so stupid me decides to go to FanX. Like, what was I thinking? But I made it through 5 hours without having any kind of anxiety or panic attack. And I feel like that is a triumph right there. I decided it was getting a little bit too overwhelming for me, so I went ahead and left. But I really enjoyed my time there, and as you can see, I went hair shopping. I have never had this long of hair, well, maybe when I was very young, but yeah, otherwise, no. I've had short hair for a long, long, long time. Anyway, so you can see that I bought a wig, and I also bought a short wig that's like a pixie cut that's bright electric blue, and I would get it out to show you, but it's in my car, and I don't want to walk all the way out to my car. Just not feeling that right now. So let me walk you through the other items that I got at FanX and a few of my experiences. So when I first got there, I was just kind of wandering around the trade floor, looking at all the things there was to see and to buy. Took a few pictures here and there of some things. Wondered at people's costumes. Some people had amazing costumes, and some people really should have looked in the mirror before they left their house. But then I decided to go over to the autograph area, and I had some specific people in mind that I wanted to get in line for to get autographs. Now, I know that waiting in line for autographs is a time-consuming process, and I knew I was going to be there for a while, but I thought, no, this will be fun. So I went ahead and got some pictures at a stand right near the autograph section, thinking that I would get those people to sign them and everything would be grand. So I got this picture, which is Dustin Henderson from Stranger Things, and I forget the kid's real name, so apologies. Then I got this picture, which is, of course, Jeff Goldblum, and I was super, super excited to meet him. Then we have David Tennant, and I was going to get this signed for a good friend of mine who lives all the way in Germany and hence could not come to FanX. Then we had Rainn Wilson. Ooh, I just dropped the picture. Hang on. See if I can reach it. Come back, picture. Okay. Sorry, this is all, yeah, I'm a mess. So, Rainn Wilson, they didn't have any pictures of him from The Office, which is my favorite thing that he's been on. But they did have one from Backstrom, and I really liked that show. I was so sad when I heard that it was not renewed for a second season. Now I remember why I don't have long hair. It keeps getting caught everywhere. Yikes. The last picture I got was Katie Sackhoff, and this is a picture of her from Longmire, which is my absolute favorite show ever. Yeah, I've watched it so many times, it's ridiculous. So you can see that none of those pictures are signed because here's what happened. I got in a line for David Tennant, and this lady said to me, "You're not in the back of the line. The back of the line is over there," which was really confusing to me because I stood clearly at the end of a line that was all going toward the big David Tennant sign. So I was very confused. Being me, this kind of situation isn't great for me because I immediately start to feel stupid. So I found one very friendly looking FanX staff member and asked her, "Can you explain how the autograph lines work?" And apparently there's like a front section and then another section, and it's very confusing, and I got overwhelmed. My body started to like go into chills, and I started thinking, okay, this is it. This is when the panic attack's going to come. So I very kindly thanked the lady, and I walked away. I went and found a quiet-ish spot to sit, and I had made this little sensory emergency kit, And I went and breathed some lavender scents and just kind of chilled. I had like a soft texture thing that I could little play with and fidget with and just kind of caught my breath. So no panic attack. I decided I better go to some panels. So I went to one about writing novels and short stories, and it was 5 male authors and 1 female author. And the men, you're wonderful, but sometimes you need to let people speak. If a man feels he's got something to say, he's going to dominate the conversation. Now, that's not true for every man. My dad is certainly not like that, but a lot of guys are. And so I really feel bad for the female author on the panel because she was sitting at the end and she just wasn't included in the conversation as much. But they did talk about some really interesting ideas as well as giving some advice for people who want to be writers. So being one of those people myself, I was dutifully taking notes, and if I can find it, oh yes, excuse my leaning close. I had this notebook that's all like comic panels, and so I was like taking notes in that way, and it was just kind of fun to take notes at a comic convention in a comic book notebook. All right. As I'm sitting here in this wig, I'm thinking, I don't know if I want to try to wear this to school or not, because when I bought it, I thought, oh, this is going to be great for homecoming week when we're all supposed to dress up funky on different days. I don't know. This might be a miracle if I make it through this video without taking the wig off, so let's see what happens. Okay, back on topic. All right, after that workshop, I attended one from a manga artist, and I attended one on Harry Potter, and there were a couple of girls in there that were freaking annoying. Like, okay, if you're a super fan of something, I can totally relate because I am super fan of Harry Potter plus other things. But you don't have to dominate the entire time for everyone else that has also paid money to come to this convention. And that's all I'm going to say about those 2 girls because, yeah, that's all I'm going to say. So, up next I went out to the floor and decided, well, I'm going to do some shopping. I had been saving up some money to spend, and I thought, okay, I am nerding out here. I'm with my nerd people. I've got to get some nerdy fun stuff. So I'll share with you, in addition to the wigs that I bought, which I already spoke about. Oh, I didn't show you my cute lanyard. The ladies at the wig shop gave me this lanyard from their website, animestuffstore.com. And yeah, they're just kind of nice. Lanyards are handy for all kinds of purposes, so I'm sure I'll find a use for that. Okay, so wigs, yes, we already saw the autograph list pictures. Check this out. It's a Ron Weasley pillow. It's so cute. And then I can cuddle with Ron if I'm feeling like I want to be what's her bucket that totally creeped Ron out, but he dated her anyway. Or I can just cuddle him because I love Ron and he's my favorite. All right, so that was at a booth that was ladies that hand make some Harry Potter stuff as well as some things that they probably just resell. And then I went to a different Harry Potter shop, which was more licensed kind of things, and I got a wand. Yes, I did. I have been thinking for a while, like, if I got, like, a wand, which one would I want? And I got Hermione's wand because it's just so pretty. The lady that was at that stand was super nice, and we got talking about how much I love Ron because I was holding my pillow like kind of under the arm, and she goes, if you buy something here, I'll give you an extra big bag so you can put your pillow in it. Isn't that nice? But I did buy the wand, and it was so cute because she goes, here's our Weasley section, and Hermione's wand was in that section. I'm like, oh, Hermione and Ron. Love. Anyway, I'll hold this up again so you can see it is a proper wand, and it is very beautiful with all of the lovely plants winding around and around it. Quite heavy too, which makes you think it's very well made, which I do believe it is. And it comes in a box with its own lovely cushiony liner. So that is very fun. All right. And then lastly, oh, I should also say, I had all my money in the Jane Austen purse, and the lady at the booth used to run a Jane Austen subscription box. And so we got talking about Jane Austen stuff, and all the Harry Potter people around were like, what the crap? But do you know that Jane Austen and Harry Potter are related? There's like connections there. For example, Mrs. Norris is named after Aunt Norris in Jane Austen's Mansfield Park. It's a true story. All right, moving on, because this is not a Jane Austen video. I decided to get a t-shirt that I could wear because I love t-shirts. I live in them. And I wanted one that said FanX on it. Look at this awesomeness. It's Dustin. Is that funny or what? I love this shirt so much, and it feels like it's gonna be big on me, which as a plump girl, anytime you find a piece of clothing that you didn't try on originally and it ends up being bigger, it's like, ah, Christmas. All right, so those are my items from FanX. And then I mentioned that I did go book shopping as well. So my favorite bookstore, the King's English on the east side of Salt Lake, was having a birthday bash. It was their 41st birthday, and so they had everything 25% off. And so I had a list of books that I really wanted to get, and they had one of them because everyone's just buying stuff. But I was glad that I was able to find at least something to be able to support the store, and I got a signed first edition of Two Dark Reigns by Kendara Blake. This is the third book in the Three Dark Crowns series, and I am very, very, very excited to read it. Shall we find the signature? There it is, right there. Awesome. All right, now, there was one book on my list of books to buy that I have been just dying to get. It's Sonia Stone's new book, The Opposite of Innocent. So, of course, I had to take a trip to Barnes & Noble. I'm not a teenage boy. I don't want hair in my eyes. All right. This is it. Sonia Stone's wrote Saving Red, and it's a lot bigger than this one. I almost was wishing this book was bigger because I want more of it to read. I've read the first 5 chapters that were sent to me from Epic Reads, and I am so into this. It is about a girl who is in love with her father's best friend, who's like quite a bit older than her, and they should not have a relationship at all, but then one day he kisses her. Now, in the first 5 chapters that they sent to me, I didn't get to that part yet, but it was part of the little blurb that they sent to us from Epic Reads. And so apparently he kisses her, and there's an inappropriate relationship here. And I really want to know if this girl can get smart enough to figure out, whoa, this guy is my dad's age. I need to back off. Plus, the writing is really good. Sonia Stone's is fantastic. She writes in verse. So when we open up the book, you can see like that. So they read fast, too, which is awesome. All right. Also at Barnes & Noble, I saw Lost by PC Cast and Kristen Cast. Now, I am absolute trash for the House of Night series. Just read the whole entire series, and now there's this like secondary series. It's like a spinoff called Otherworld. And the first book came out a little while ago, and I got that and read it, and now this is the second one. And I can't really tell you what this is about because if you haven't read the House of Night series or if you're only partially way through, I will ruin some stuff for you if I tell you too much about this book. So we're just going to set it in my stack of things over here. All right. Then I decided to go check out the exceptional values section at Barnes & Noble because they have very good prices, like discounts on some books. So I picked up Dangerous Deception, which is part of the Beautiful Creatures series-ish. After Beautiful Creatures gets done, they've done kind of a spin-off series with Ridley. And so the first one is Red, and it's Dangerous Creatures, and then we have Dangerous Deception. Then we have another one that's part of a series, Manners and Mutiny by Gail Carriger. This is part of the Etiquette and Espionage series, which is a steampunk girls learning to be assassins kind of a thing, and steampunk is one of my triggers for purchases, so plus I just really like this series. So that's what that is right there. Then I got The Walled City by Ryan Groden. I have read Wolf by Wolf and Blood for Blood, and I loved those, and I've heard that this is absolutely fantastic, and it's World War II Holocaust concentration camp kind of situation, I think. They live inside a walled city, which to me sounds like what were they called? Pogroms? Where the blocked off areas of the city where people were kept before they went to the concentration camps. So I'm very interested to read this. And the last book that I picked up there is called Write the Story. And this is to help you spark writing. So like just randomly flip it open. There's a story idea the main character is startled awake by, and you have to include the following words in your story: subway, swine, evergreen, poised, core, occupation, emblem, inspector, wild, and gate. And then they give you a page full of lines to write that story. And so there's a whole bunch of stories in here that you can write, and that might lead you to writing something longer, or you could just keep it as a flash fiction length kind of a story. This will be great for me to use, plus I can use some of the prompts with my students because my 8th graders write flash fiction on Fridays. Win-win, right? And it was only $10. Then I had a little bit more money to spend at Barnes & Noble, and I was like, okay, I've got this cash. I need to spend it because what's the point of saving money for like gas to drive home in the morning? I mean, really? I know, I have a problem. So I ended up getting 3 little figures. 2 of them were rock candy, and then 1 is a Pop Funko. So we'll start with that one. And continue with the theme of this video. We have Dustin from Stranger Things. He is my favorite character. I always go for the guys that are the comic relief. Ron Weasley in Harry Potter, Dustin in Stranger Things. We see a pattern here, right? All right, speaking of Ron Weasley, I also have this lovely little Ron, and he is holding the rat. And this rat is far too cute to be Peter Pettigrew. I mean, I know that's who it's supposed to represent, Scabbers / Peter, but I mean, really, Peter is not that cute. Ugh. Peter is like the grossest character in the entire series. And of course, Ron's got his broken wand, because this was from that time period. Very fun. These figures are a little bit more detailed than the Pop Funko, so you can see some of the other faces. The Luna one, I really want to get because, look, it's just Luna with her glasses and just Luna. All right, but we got Ron, which, as I've mentioned many times, is my absolute favorite. And then the last is a character who sometimes wars with Ron for my favorite spot in the Harry Potter series because he's such a good character and so amazing, and yeah, Neville Longbottom. It's a good dude. This is him holding the Sword of Gryffindor, and he's got his sweater on and all that. So I am very excited to have a Neville because he's the only Neville that I have. Now, I am a little bit worried that now I've got these 2 figures from Rock Candy that I'm going to want all the Rock Candy Harry Potters and all the Harry Potter Pop Funkos. That's what savings accounts are for. Just kidding. Can I just say I do not like the way that my face looks with this wig on. It seems more round, or maybe my face is just getting rounder. I don't know. But it's fun to have wigs because then sometimes you can have just a totally different personality just because of your hair. Anyway, that's all of the craziness that I want to share with you today. This video has gone on far, far too long. So I hope you are having a wonderful and bookish day. Happy reading. Adios.